Would you believe I've made this video 3 times now? So I gotta apologize. A viewer had commented on my growth chart video and asked how I made this template. And I said that I would make it probably, that week or the following week. And I just lost track of time. I'm a stay-at-home father, so that's probably the most time-consuming thing I've ever done in my life. So anyways, I found time. Apologize that it's really late. But here it is for you if you haven't started on yours already, or for future viewers who are curious as to what I did. So the first video, I actually went to, what is it? I went to film myself doing it, but then I screwed up somehow. I don't remember what I did to screw up, but anyways, I'm just going to explain it. It's pretty straightforward, and if I'm not clear enough, please ask me, and I'll try and straighten it away here. So the first thing I want to talk about is, if you're only going to be making one of these, it may not be worth spending the time on a template. When I made my first one, I had no intentions of making more, so I just I drew the lines, which I'll go into, and then I just used my speed square as a guide for my router. So I'd clamp this down and ride my router right along the edge to do my lines, unclamp, move it down 1 inch, do it again. So I mean, that was far more time consuming than running it over one of these, if you don't take into account the time it takes to make this thing. So that part's up to you. If you want to make it and maybe pass it on to a friend so they can use it, or make them for the friend, who knows, then this is where you want to go. So I'll explain the whole process to getting the lines, and then if you choose to do it with the square, you basically stop after the jigsaw process, and then just carry on by clamping the speed square. So for this guy, this is turned around. So this would actually, the bottom is the 6-inch mark, and then this would be the 1 foot mark. Now the reason why I did that is I've made them so they hang 6 inches off the ground. Alright, and they go up to 6.5 feet. I don't know if you can see it from the top of the camera angle here, but this guy goes up to 6.5 feet. Now if you've got a taller family, you can make these, you can make a longer board, or you can start this a foot off the ground and make this 6 inches, and then 2 feet, and so on and so forth. So that part's entirely up to you. So that being said, for this template, I'm just using particle board, and it's the thinner of the 2 thicknesses that they usually sell at the home centers. I wanted something thick enough to where it wasn't going to be flimsy, and not so thick that I wouldn't be able to get my router bit through here, because you gotta factor in this distance plus this distance, and then you've got to have another, I'd say, 1/4 inch to dig into the wood. So I mean, any thicker than this, I'd have this guy bottomed out trying to hog away the lines. So you can use plywood, whatever else you want, it doesn't matter, just as long as it's going to do the job. So once you've got a 6 foot length cut, you start with the tape measure, go from one end to the other, and then you just mark out the 1 inch increments all the way down for the whole 6 feet. So you just mark them out. You take a square with each mark, and then you draw the lines out. Now for these guys, for every inch here, these guys are 1 inch long. You can see these right here. For the quarter foot increments here, they're going to be 2 inches long. So I draw a 2 inch line here, back to 2 1 inch lines. Now for the foot increments, where the numbers are going to be, as you can see right here, this would be a 1. These guys are 3 inches long. So it's 1, 2, 3 inches. And you repeat this step the whole way down. As you're doing that, pay close attention to what you're doing, because slow down, take your time, because it's going to save you time in the long run. I actually started on this end when I created this thing, and I wasn't paying attention to what I was doing. So I did the 2 1-inch marks, excuse me, the holes, and instead of doing the 2-inch, I drilled out at 1 inch. So I wanted to start over. I didn't realize it till I got down here. Now, once you've got the lines drawn out here, I'll show you. Hopefully you guys can see this. You draw your lines. You take a 3/8 drill bit, and you drill out the end of every line that you've drawn. So all the way down. You could use just a hand drill, just try and make sure you're going as straight as you can. I used a drill press just because I have one, and it was ensured to be 100% straight. But you can do a hand drill, no problem. Just make sure you've got a piece of wood underneath when you're drilling it, so it doesn't blow out at the back. So again, the 1 inch, 2 inch, 1 inch, 1 inch, 3 inch, rinse and repeat all the way down. So once you've got these 3/8 holes, you find your hole here. I'll go on the 1 foot increment on this guide, and you go to the very edge of each side of the hole. So you put your square up, draw a line. You can't see it, I'll take a picture, and do the exact same thing to the other side. So all this stuff right here, actually, I'll draw a mark. So the line goes like this. And then all this stuff has to be hogged away right here. So at which point you take your jigsaw or a hand saw if you don't have one, whatever, and you cut away on each side until you get to the edge of the circle, and do the same thing on that side. And what you'll be left with are these right here. So it should be 3 inches wide on either end, and in the middle should be even. Take your time on that part, because if you have even a slight wobble in there, it's going to show through onto your work. So what these are allowing you to do is to take your router base with the template guide and just fit in. And that's all you do. You keep going like that. And this process is really, really fast once you get that going. And it saves a whole bunch of time, especially if you're batching out quite a few. Alright. So to the template guides. You can buy these in kits from 1/2 inch down to 5/16, and 7/8 down to 5/16, and I'm sure you could get different sizes too. What you're looking for, and if you're not interested in buying a whole kit, you can just buy the individual pieces. You're looking for the 3/8 template guide, which I've got attached to my router right now. And the outside diameter of these template bits is what the measurement is based off of. So this will be the exact same size as my bit. Now I've got mine on a plunge base, and the reason why I have it on my plunge base versus my fixed base is because the bottom plate here on my fixed base has a huge hole which doesn't accommodate these template guides. Only my plunge does. I don't need the plunge function for this operation. I could have easily just dialed in the height that I need and just use it that way, had the base taken the template guides. And they're just as simple as put it on underneath, from the inside you screw it on, and that's it. For my routers, or my router bits rather, now you can use really any one you want. If you want to use you know, if you want to use a core bit, you can probably find the appropriate template. Yeah, this guy. And you can do round holes, or you can do square holes with different bits. Any shape you want. It doesn't matter. You're not going to be wrong. It's just up to personal preference. Myself, where is it? Oh, it appears I didn't put my router bit back when I filmed the second video. Alright, so I have no idea what I did with my router bit. It's basically this, but smaller. The bit that I use for these guys is a 1/4 inch V-groove bit. This guy is obviously much larger, but it's basically the same, process. And that one fits right through here, just a tiny bit of clearance on either side. And it allows me to run. So I think I pretty much went over it. If I wasn't clear enough on something, just ask in the comments, and hopefully I can get that sorted out for you. If you absolutely want to see me do a little piece on, you know, just on some scrap to show the process step by step with the tools, feel free to ask me and I'll do that if there's, you know, if you want it. But I'm hoping that just explaining it was good enough. And go from there. So, I apologize that it didn't come out sooner, but c'est la vie. And we'll see you next time.